Alright, so I thought I would kind of do a little bit of a different video here for you guys, and kind of a video by a Richmond fan for not only Richmond fans, but for any AFL fan in general who wants to see what I think and hope is a pretty good predicted best 23 for round one and coming up. But of course, again, this is all just my opinion. If you guys do happen to disagree with who I have in my best 23, please don't go down in the comments section and threaten my whole entire family tree. Again, we're all going to have different opinions here and there, so if you guys do disagree or agree, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. But again, this is who I think will be in the, not necessarily, I guess, best 23 of round one, but it's also like who I think they will probably select for round one. So it's a bit of both. It's not only the best 23, but also the 23 I think will be running out most likely against Carlton in of course round one. Now, of course, again, before we do get into all of that and more, if you haven't already, there is still a decent amount of you guys who watch these videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel. So again, it would mean a lot to me if you guys could take some time out of your day to leave a like on this video. Of course, subscribe to the channel for all the latest AFL content, Richmond content, and sports related content in general. And I guess without further ado, we'll get straight into, I guess, you know, the best 23. Now, we'll start off with the back line here for round one. And I've actually got Josh Gibcus, Ben Miller, Noah Bolter, Nathan Broad, Nick Floston, and Jaden Short. Again, there is still a little bit of drama going around with Josh Gibcus. There are rumors saying that he actually won't be available to play round one, which is crazy, and I don't understand why. Again, for those of you who don't know, he actually did his ACL in round one last year. So basically, if he doesn't play round one, he won't have played AFL for another whole entire year. And the thing is, ACL recoveries, especially for AFL players who have the best recovery in the world, usually takes about 9 to 12 months. Again, there is still those rarer cases where like a guy like Alex Rance is practically good to go after 5 to 6 months, and a guy like, you know, Doherty is pushing to return after like, I think 5 or 6 months on the sideline as well. But again, it is very, very rare. But the thing is, it's usually about 9 to 12 months. And when you've got a guy like Josh Gibcus who has been injured for so long and is not going to be ready for a game that was, you know, where he did his ACL the game last year, and it's given him a whole year to recover, it is definitely concerning to me and I think other Richmond fans. So I hope those rumors aren't true and he is good to go for round one. But again, there are rumors that it's going slower than expected and he could be available by like round 4 or 5, which is scary. Again, some people will debate if Ben Miller should be in this team. I think, look, will he be in it at the end of the year? Maybe, maybe not. A guy like, you know, Blight might come in and take his spot, but the end of the day is, I think this is who they will go for round one. So yeah, I think the other four, that's pretty obvious they're going to go with those guys. I mean, Bolter, Broad, Floston, and Shaw are all very established. If we move to the center line now, we of course have Hugo Ralph-Smith and Jack Ross on the wings, with Jacob Hopper in that center position. Again, Ralph-Smith, I think, was arguably Richmond's most improved last year. He should hopefully take another step forward this year and become one of the AFL's better wings. You've also got Jack Ross on the other side, who I also believe is a really underrated Richmond player. Again, I think he'll start off on the wing, but he'll definitely float into that midfield and spend some time in there, as well as even half forward. He's shown that he can be a proven goal kicker. And then Jacob Hopper. I mean, you guys know my thoughts and opinions on Jacob Hopper. I am really not too high on him. I really liked him at GWS. But at Richmond, he's done nothing but get injured, then come back in the team, done nothing, had a good half against Melbourne, one game, but again, he has been one of the slowest midfielders in the league. He was brought in to be a contested clearance beast and has really done almost the opposite. And for a lot of games last year, Richmond started him on the bench or up forward, which is really concerning for a guy they're going to be paying up to nearly $1 million a year to in a couple years. And he's got like 5 years left to run, and he was starting on the bench in the worst team in the league. Again, yeah, I really pray that Jacob Hopper can turn it around this year and bring that GWS play back into control, but we'll have to see. Again, we're going to the forward line here now, and I do have Maurice Rioli Jr., Jacob Kazitsky, Sam Lawler, Ryan Mansell, Tom Lynch, and Seth Campbell. Again, I think Lawler will probably start off in the midfield for the first centre bounce, because it will obviously be so hyped they'll have to. But I don't think he'll play anything more than maybe 30% of midfield time in the opening game. I think they will play him a lot up forward. Again, that's how Dustin Martin's early career with Richmond went. He would play about 70% forward, 30% midfield, and it would move on to about 60-40 by the end of the year. Again, I think that's what will probably happen with Sam Lawler, and over the years, he'll eventually turn into a full-time midfielder. But again, I could be very wrong about this. Richmond could just straight away play him in the midfield and play him there a lot, but I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. They've got a bunch more midfield depth than they did last year, while their forward depth, I think, is still very much behind. So I think he might play some forward. For Jacob Kazitsky, again, he shouldn't be in Richmond's best 23, but I just have the feeling he's going to play round one. I don't know what it is. I think all Richmond fans can agree that there is probably a massive feeling that he will play round one, and I think they'll play him over a Jonty Fall and Harvey Langford, because I think if they debut 3 or more, then it's tough, because you don't want to be debuting so many guys in front of 95,000 people who, again, you don't want these young players shitting their pants and Richmond get smashed by 100 to their, rivals, especially, again, Carlton, who have some of the loudest fans. And I think fans who, look, don't get me wrong, are very interesting. You've got fans that over the years have threatened their players, and also fans who have thrown water bottles at umpires' heads. Again, having 3 or more people debut in front of those type of fans is definitely something scary, and definitely something would have me shitting myself on the big stage. So I think that the Tigers might keep it small for now, while, again, Tom Lynch, I think, will play from what we've heard. Maurice Rioli Jr., Mansell, and Campbell definitely need to take a massive step up next year, and from what we've heard, they will be. So I'm excited to see how they go, and hopefully prove to be a good small forward trio that was worth the development and worth putting the games into. Again, to the followers now, you've got Toby Nankervis as the ruckman, Tim Taranto, and of course Dion Prestia as the rovers. I think that's pretty obvious, especially if Prestia gets up and is nice and healthy. I think he'll hopefully play there. And again, Nank and, of course, Tim Taranto. So I think Taranto, it's going to be a big year for him. I'm really hoping he gets back to that first year form, because I think people forget that this guy at one stage was like a contender to somebody, for the Brownlow. Like, he was playing out of his mind. I think he had like 10 votes in 5 weeks type thing at one stage. He had a phenomenal season, took out Richmond's best and fairest. Again, he has actually proven himself to the Tigers, unlike Hopper so far, but again, he also still needs to do that again, because last year had an injury-riddled year, and when he came back, he low-key looked like he just had checked out. Like, he really didn't try, and it was a couple of really bad performances, but again, I still hope that he can come in and fire away. And look, this midfield is starting to look definitely a lot better. And then the bench is, something that's going to get Richmond, because every single player on this bench is like 22 or under, with not many games into them. I don't think there's a player on that bench who's played more than 20 games. You've, of course, got Tom Brown, Sam Banks, Kane McAuliffe, Josh Smiley, who will debut, and Jacob Bauer. Again, if I had to say who the sub would be, I think they'll go with Kane McAuliffe. The thing is, I really like how even that bench is. Again, I know Jacob Bauer might be a controversial one. They could also have Blighty in there. But Bauer showed a lot, I think, in his last 4 games. And He's only 190 centimeters tall, who's a really athletic player. There's no reason he couldn't be a third or fourth forward, key forward for Richmond in this team, and I think they could definitely swing that way. So I would really like to see him play. Again, McAuliffe, I think, will probably start as a sub. He's played, like, I think less than 10 games. Smiley will be debuting. Tom Brown's definitely played less than 20 games. Again, he's the backman of the group. And then Sam Banks, I like his versatility on the wing. Again, when Rossi goes and plays in the inside, he'll jump in the wing. And also, Banks can definitely support that half back line as well. I overall really like that bench. It's just super inexperienced. Again, the thing is with this team, in my opinion, it's not that bad. I think this is a team that could very well win 6 to 8 games. And if the AFL season, you know, went right, this team could easily finish like 14th or 15th. Again, not that good, but not the worst. The issue is Tom Lynch, you know, he's always injured. Jacob Hopper's always injured. Taranto's had his injuries now. We don't even know if Gibcus is going to play. When all these players go out, you have to search for another 4 or 5 guys to come in, who Richmond just didn't have last year. At least this year now, they have, you know, hopefully another step up by Sonsi. They have Jonty Fall, Harry Armstrong, and a couple other guys here and there who can come in and play. It's just, it's going to be so much younger. At least Richmond have depth now, but it's really young depth who have barely ever played. So, yeah, that's why Richmond will probably be a lock to finish last, is because as soon as Lynch goes out, Hopper goes out, Prestia goes out, Gibcus hopefully won't go out, but those 4, and you're replacing them with, you know, like a Tyler Sonsi, Jonty Fall, and as I said, Harry Armstrong, etc. You're either replacing them with guys who have never played or guys who have played less than 20 games. So it's pretty scary. Richmond have the depth. It's just really young and inexperienced now. At least they've got something, because last year they didn't even have the depth. They were having to play guys like Noah Cumberland and Matthew Coulthard, which, yeah, I pray to never see those times again at Richmond. I really do. But again, I don't think this will be the best 23. Probably by round 5, as I said, about 4 or 5 of those blokes won't be in there anymore. There'll definitely be a guy or two who will probably get dropped along the line. A guy like Sam Banks, and I think even Morris Rioli Jr. A lot of them really have to prove their spot in this team, or they're going to be players who are really trying to take over. So it's going to be interesting to see how this does go. I think this team could very well compete with Carlton, just like they did last year. But there's still a massive chance with the inexperience and youth, especially in that forward line. It could all come crumbling down, you know, and the bench as well. So we'll have to definitely wait and see. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really like to hear what you guys all think down below in the comment section, because I'm super interested to see who you guys have in your best 23, who you would change out of my 23, or all of the above. Again, it would definitely mean a lot if you guys could go and do that. There's still a decent amount of you guys as well who haven't subscribed to my gaming channel, my IRL/vlogging channel, and I've never even really shouted out my Instagram, but that will be linked down below as well. So all of them are, of course, down there. But again, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.